Welcome back. Israel revealing the identities of 2 more hostages released by Hamas as the terrorist group claims it returned all the dead hostages that it could find. 19 bodies are still believed to be held in Gaza, including 2 Americans. Israel keeping the threat of military action on the table if Hamas does not abide by the peace deal. President Trump is maintaining that the U.S. military will not get involved in making Hamas disarm. It doesn't need to. Israel will finish the job. New details about what the freed Israeli hostages experienced in captivity. Meanwhile, the Times of Israel reporting that 1 hostage was held alone for all 738 days and lost between 30 and 40% of his body weight. Joining me now is Pennsylvania Senator Dave McCormick. He chairs the Senate's Middle East Subcommittee. Senator, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Your reaction to all of this and, of course, President Trump's incredible peace deal that he has achieved.
I think it's a remarkable moment. I mean, first, what a glorious day to see the hostages reunited with their families. Dina and I had the chance to meet with those hostage families a number of times over the last 2 years. So a glorious day, and wouldn't have happened without the remarkable leadership of President Trump, undoubtedly. And people look at this and they say, "Oh, he got the hostages released." It's so much more than that. It's the steadfast support for Israel in destroying Hamas military capability, Hezbollah, and so forth. It's the unbelievable use of the American military to take out Iran's nuclear capability. It's these trusting relationships with Gulf leaders, Arab leaders that have been cultivated over the last decade. And it's the clarity of strength that the president brought to it. And finally, we have a huge breakthrough. The hostages are home, but now we need to move to phase 2. And I think when we look back on the second Trump presidency, one of the great successes is going to be, and obviously there's lots of work to do, but true peace in the Middle East and a phase 2 of the Abraham Accords. So I think it's a remarkable day. I'm so happy and proud for the president and the team.
Well, the president used his own relationships to ensure that he got the Qataris and other Middle Eastern leaders to make the case to Hamas they need to stand down, and not to mention the fact that the U.S. has destroyed the nuclear capabilities of Iran. Was that the beginning to get Hamas to understand it's over?
I think it was. I mean, you know, you saw what the Israelis were able to do with Hezbollah. Incredible. The military capabilities of the Israeli forces and what they've done over the last 2 years is truly remarkable. But it was the certainty of President Trump's strength, the willingness to help finish off and set back the nuclear capabilities dramatically. But listen, I think people trust him. I think everybody from Prime Minister Netanyahu to the key leaders in the Gulf states, they trust the president. He speaks truth. He's tough. He doesn't always tell them what they want to hear. But that kind of trust is the basis for any negotiated solution in a situation that is complex and has defied any resolution for centuries and in many ways thousands of years. So I think that Trump was a unique leader at a unique moment, and nobody could have done it but him. I really believe that. Well,
a federal judge is temporarily blocking the administration from firing over 4,000 federal employees, calling the move politically motivated. OMB Director Russ Vought said that layoffs could exceed 10,000 federal employees, and House Speaker Mike Johnson is warning that the White House could run out of funds to pay our troops if the government stays closed for much longer, potentially by the end of the month. Senator, the Senate's going to try again today to pass the House-passed Clean CR. What can you tell us? Have you been in touch with your colleagues on the left to try to identify the 5 votes that are needed to actually get this government reopened again?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not optimistic we're going to have a breakthrough today. And, I think we have to step back and say, what's happening here? What's happening here is a completely political stunt on the part of Chuck Schumer. This is the Schumer shutdown, to try to use the pressure of the government shutting down as leverage, to hold the government blackmail, the workers blackmail, to try to get a bunch of Democratic priorities. It's a clean, continuing resolution. This is what Republicans supported 14 times under President Biden. And what's happening now, Chuck Schumer said the other day on the news that every day is better for us. Well, he may think it's better for the politics of the Democratic Party. It's terrible, as you say, for the Border Patrol, for the air traffic controllers, for TSA, for our members of the military. And it's disgraceful. And, Maria, hold me to this. Democrat or Republican, no matter who's in the majority, I will never vote to shut the government down. I support. I know you had him on the show, Senator Fetterman. He and I feel the same way about this. I ultimately think the Democrats are in a cul-de-sac. They've done this for political purposes because of the left wing of the Democratic Party. It's bad for America. It's bad for those federal workers. It's bad for the citizens who are going to be put in harm's way. And I'm hoping cooler minds will prevail in the Democratic Party, but I don't think it'll be today, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it's extraordinary to me that John Fetterman was only one of 2 Democrats who actually voted with Republicans. The senator joined me recently on this. Here's John Fetterman and his thoughts on what you just said. Watch.
But Chuck Schumer's waiting, I hear, until next Saturday when the big march in Washington takes place, the No Kings March. This way he can appease the radical left of his party to show that he's willing to fight Trump to every end. No matter what happens to the American public, he's willing to sacrifice all of that for his own political career.
So you think that this is all political and he just wants to be able to go on that No Kings rally and stomp his chest saying, I'm fighting Trump, regardless of what's happening with citizens who are not getting paid?
Maria, you summed it up. I think that's an excellent summary. This is all about politics. It's about Chuck Schumer's political future.
It's not about who's losing or who's getting more of the blame or anything. You know, like for me, what I really cares about is it's a core responsibility for me as a U.S. Senator to vote to make sure and keep our government open, and then we can figure out all these other priorities. That's democracy. That's democracy. Shutting our government down, that's the wrong message for the world, for Americans as well, too.
And that, of course, was John Fetterman from Pennsylvania and also Bill Hagerty from Tennessee. Do you agree with them that all of this is just politics, that they just want to be at that No Kings rally on Saturday in Washington because the extreme left wants to protest President Trump?
I really do. I think it's a pure political calculation. I think Chuck Schumer has more or less said that. And I think it's disgraceful, and I actually believe this is why the American people have such low regard for Washington and for members of Congress, because of political stunts like this. As Senator Fetterman said, the most basic fundamental responsibility of the Congress is to keep the government up and running to meet the needs of the people. What the Democrats have done is put those public services at risk. They put the families that are living paycheck to paycheck. Just to give you an example, a military private, a young man or a woman who joins the military, make a couple $1,000 a month. It's a big deal to not get paid for a month. And that's what the Democrats are doing for solely Trump derangement syndrome, for political purposes, and I won't ever support that, and I think it's as disgraceful that the Democrats are.
Well, I could say that I do not think this is going to age well for them. Senator, I want to get the impact on business, because I spoke with a source in business recently who said to me, Maria, we've got great IPOs that we're going to take public. We got great deals that we're working on right now. We can't do any of it because the Securities and Exchange Commission is closed. And so at some point, you know, all of this euphoria does focus on the fact that we can't make progress. Now, you recently met with technology and defense leaders on Pittsburgh's AI Avenue to talk about the rapid growth of defense robotics and AI industries in southwestern Pennsylvania. I love this story. We're seeing an enormous amount of money go into defense tech. What did you learn?
I mean, it's incredible. I think Pennsylvania and southwestern Pennsylvania in particular you're seeing huge capital. And you saw this at the Energy and Innovation Summit that we had, where there was $90 billion of capital investment announced in Pennsylvania. President Trump and his cabinet were there. Key CEOs were there. We see the same thing in defense. The defense budget's going up. The world's a dangerous place. We need next-generation defense capability. It's the intersection of our defense industry and artificial intelligence, robotics. Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania is at the center of that. And we need to unleash these entrepreneurs. Let them go do their thing. That's what has made America great. And deregulating, opening up energy, and letting our innovators innovate is the key, and it's happening right now in Pennsylvania.
I love it. Meanwhile, we've got to hit this real quick before you go. New surveillance video shows the arson attack on Governor Josh Shapiro's residence earlier this year. The suspect, Cody Balmer, pled guilty to all charges, including attempted murder, aggravated arson, burglary, terrorism, and other related offenses. He took a plea deal and was sentenced to 25 to 50 years in prison. Senator, your reaction?
I mean, lock this guy up and throw away the key. We cannot have political violence in our country. As you know, I was there at Butler when the president was shot. Governor Shapiro's my governor. I was a friend of Charlie Kirk. This has to stop. It can't be anywhere in our political process. Now, I do think some of this horrible language on the extreme left, fascism, Nazism, authoritarianism, I think that's a recipe. That's an introduction, an encouragement to violence. It's got to stop, and I'm trying to be a strong voice for that, working across the aisle, even when we disagree with people like John Fetterman. That's the path through it, is leadership, country first.
All right, we will leave it there. Great to see you, sir. Thanks very much. Senator Dave McCormick joining us this morning.